Everyone wants to see our community in Southend, West and Leigh thrive. However, many people in this room will be aware that how we care for those with high support needs is constantly evolving. On one level, that's really exciting. We are much more aware of neurodivergence and that we need to have greater understanding of what people who are diagnosed as being autistic or with conditions like ADHD need to do well in our constituency. On another level, in where we work, there is a great deal of confusion about what it means for someone to have learning disabilities or lifelong conditions. Language around these issues is complicated, and if you are directly part of this community, either as a person with high support needs or as one of the people who cares for that human being, there can be many varying opinions. So today, we'd really like the conversation to be kept respectful because that's important. We are all one community, and being passionate about this issue is fantastic. We are looking for strong debate, but please refrain from using offensive language. And if you do need to correct somebody else's terminology, please explain your reasons politely. It can sometimes be a little awkward if you've used what you think is the wrong word. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be contested, but language is moving all the time around these issues. So we believe at Making Care Fair that it is important to support each other to do better at all times. So I'm going to get on to how this is all going to work, because you don't really want to listen to me. We are going to try and be as fair as possible in this debate, and although right of reply cannot be guaranteed, if a candidate directly references another party or candidate, we will try our utmost to allow this to happen, because it's only fair that we can respond to what is being said about them. We will also try and make sure that every candidate has the chance to answer a question if they wish to, but we are going to run to a 2-minute time. So I'm going to be quite hovering, and Becca, who is our timing person, is actually quite ruthless, and so we will be keeping you to time, I'm afraid. I hope everybody thinks that's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm afraid to say it's literally, we've only got one mic, but that actually means that hopefully it's a bit like the talking stick in therapy. People actually get the chance to actually talk without talking over each other. And we're going to ask each candidate to introduce themselves to us. We're just going to give them 2 minutes to tell us who they are, why they came today, what they're hoping to achieve by being our potential newest MP.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tom Darwood. I'm a retired carpenter. I won't tell you my age, but I've met some of these gentlemen and ladies before, and I cannot say how can I put it? I admire each and every one of you, because I think what we're doing is trying to increase our community with greater love and care for each other. Simple as that. Now, what is my main angle as an independent candidate? In 2019, I was actually candidate in Southend West, and I called myself Joseph 77 to emulate the biblical Joseph who became a Prime Minister. Now, I actually got 574 votes. I don't know how, but I think someone voted for me 574 times. Anyway, what is my main aim, my main pitch? My main pitch, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, if followed up from here to the political arena, to the highest office in the land, will increase GDP by 30% to pay for all the political, cultural and economic demands that we all after. I'm not a politician, I'm not an economist, I'm not a this or that with a title behind my name. Tom Darwood is it. But I have written a tuition course, which I'll leave copies of here, together with this book. This is my favourite book. What I hope to achieve, it will help people with learning difficulties to get the feel of language in the past 500 years, and I think this will get immense comfort. That is my main aim today. If I can leave this book as a gift to this church to pass on to your fellow people in the community, that will be mission accomplished. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and can I just start with an enormous thank you to Blade Education and to Robbie in particular. Can't quite see, there he comes, I not see you, Robbie, right in front of me. fantastic champion for people with learning difficulties. I've learned so much from you, and it's a fantastic thing you've done today in putting on these hustings. So I'm Anna. I have an enormous privilege of being the Member of Parliament here in Southend West for the last 2 years. By way of background, I think most of you probably already know that I was born in Leigh-on-Sea. I went to school in Rayleigh, and then I went to school in Billericay, but my family come from this area, and I lived in South Essex until I went off to university, and I now live back in Leigh, and I'm extremely proud to do so. In terms of education, my mum was a teacher and spent, she always says 40 years, I can't believe it could have been 40 years, probably it was 30 years, as a head of special educational needs at Chalmerdon School in Pitsea. So education and also special educational needs was part of my growing up, if you like. And after being a barrister, I went into local government, and then when COVID came along, I started a national academy called the Invicta National Academy to provide teaching for children that weren't getting it, live online lessons. So that education thing was still going on and driving me forward. And since coming here, one of the things I've tried to do is focus on education, championing all of our schools. And I'm particularly proud of the fact that when we had the RAC problem with Kingsdown, I made it the #1 priority for the Minister. And that's why Kingsdown is getting half of it completely rebuilt. But I want us to go further, because there's a shortage of spaces. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to really move the dial for people with learning difficulties in this city. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Peter Little. I'm the Reform candidate for Southend West and Leigh. I have lived in Southend and worked in Southend for about 45 years. I think it's more than 45. So I do know the city, and I do know sort of some of the issues. But the reason I'm standing as the Reform candidate is I believe that democracy actually should give you a real choice. And I'm not too sure that we have that real choice today with the two main parties. I think that Reform will offer a radical solutions to some of the problems that we've got. But a bit about myself. I have been a non-executive director on our hospital. I've been a non-executive director with North Essex Partnership Trust before they merged with SEPT. And I currently am a non-executive director in Southend Care, which does provide both daycare services and residential services for people, adults with learning difficulties. So I am very much aware of some of the issues that this community faces. I'm also very aware of what some of the solutions are as well. So I really do look forward to sort of answering your questions once we get to the Q&A session. But thank you very much for having us this morning.
Morning everybody, nice to see so many here. First of all, I want to pass on an apology from Tilly, who is your local candidate. I'm actually a candidate for Southend East and Rochford. Tilly had a family emergency, she has an unwell parent. I'm filling in, but just to give you some background, I'm the most experienced candidate of all the candidates for both seats in Rochford, in Southend. I actually, within the local Green Party, I'm the go-to guy. I'm the advisory person for special educational needs, disability, for liaison with other bodies with regard to provision of special educational needs and disability, carers, you know, the list just goes on. I'm probably the one with the most expertise. Also, I'm an experienced ambassador and a co-production champion for EPUB. I work very closely with a number of local organisations, including Send the Right Message, Raw Learning, which is the Forest School. After the elections are over, because at this moment in time will be a conflict of interest, I'm actually discussing with a number of groups the possibility of me joining them as a patron, so that I could take our voices much closer to the centre of power and see if at the very least we can get better funding and a lot more co-production where your voice is heard instead of people delivering services that are useless to you, badly designed. We need to design everything with the end user, the service user, and with the carer in mind. So hopefully the questions will reflect that. Hopefully you like my answers. But as I say, apologies again from Tilly.
Hi, I won't stand up, it won't make much of a difference. So I'm Stephen Cummins. I came here to do some work for the local council and do IT computers about 10 years ago. And this might sound made up, but I actually loved it here. I loved the people were so warm and friendly. I loved being near the sea. I thought it's not that expensive to live here, it's not that far from London, I can fly back to Ireland. I came here by choice and I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm living here because I want to live here. That's why I'm here. So me, the missus and the daughter and the 2 dogs at that stage, I think it was, I'm not sure, moved here. And I became a governor of my daughter's school, Eastwood Academy. And that helped get me some idea what goes on in the community and the amazing pastoral care the school provides to the young people who knew directly the families. So I became a family court magistrate after that because I wanted to help out, and then I realised I better get involved in the local council because they do a lot for people in the area. And then I tried to get elected to the local council, but nobody wanted me, so I thought, feck it, I'll go for the and here I am. So I'm actually quite an inexperienced person compared to some of my esteemed colleagues here on the desk, in the sense that the first time running for Parliament was a month and a half ago, when Rishi stood in the ring and said, let's have an election. So apologies if I'm not as well prepared as some people are. But my heart is in the right place, and I was born in the UK actually. My mum used to bring me to Great Ormond Street Hospital as a small child. I understand the concept of being born with a disability and having it for the rest of your life. I applied for PIP when I got here, only because I met a guy on the train with one leg who said to me you should apply for this thing called PIP. So I've learned by doing, I've learned by experience, so I hope I can help parents with learning difficulties, because as I said, my parents had a child with a lifelong disability, and here I am. And I know learning difficulties aren't the same as my disability, and thank you for Beth and Rob and the rest of the guys for setting these things up, because I have become a lot less ignorant as a result of them teaching me and being very patient with my dullness. So thank you for that. Actually, Gaz told me, stop keep saying things like, you have 10 seconds left. Okay. So I'll pass on.
30 seconds left.
I've said enough. I'm done.
She starts running into you.
All right.
Can I borrow you 30 seconds?
Yeah, no.
Yes, so my name is James Miller. I'm standing for the Southend Confelicity Party, which is a brand new is a bit strong, but we've been going for about 2 years now. And it was founded by myself and John over there, and Minister over there. And we decided we wanted a local party to represent Southend residents. And the greatest thing I think about our party is that Southend residents can write our manifesto. So whatever issues that we have surrounding SEND, what happens is in our parties, you come along to our meetings and you literally can write our agenda, and we'll take a vote on the issues that you have. So for the very first time, you actually have the power, political power, to do something about it. It's an amazing experience where we all get together and we discuss and debate everything that's going on. But if we vote unanimously for the policy that you want, that's going to change your lives, it goes through and it goes on an official national party manifesto. That's huge power that we're giving you the opportunity for. So I would really hope to invite everyone here where we can just talk about every issue regarding SEND. I am a director of Adventure Island and Sea Life, and I do employ many people with SEND. And the issues, I think, are actually, there's so much potential out there, in my view. They are actually brilliant workers, they can make brilliant contributions, but we've got to make reasonable adjustments to bring out their fullest potential. But I see it all the time, every day, where I work. So yeah, that's my experience with SEND. Even just last week we had a lecture from Daniel, who was from the BSL, and he gave us. Is that it? Thank you very much.
Well, good morning everybody. My name is David Burton Sampson and I'm the Labour Party candidate. So a bit about me. I moved to South Essex in 1999 from Liverpool. Don't hold that against me. So I've lived here now for over half my life and spent a lot of the last 3 years in Southend working with the Southend Labour Group. Prior to that, I was a councillor in Basildon. I was the mayor of Basildon, and I got to meet with lots of organisations, especially organisations who work with SEND people and the SEND community and the carers. And it gave me a real understanding of some of the challenges that this community face on a day-to-day basis. I'm a school governor as well, and I'll tell you a little bit more later about some of the issues I've seen in schools around the lack of resource for SEND children, especially in mainstream schools. And it's actually heartbreaking when you see some of those examples, and it's something we've really got to address very, very, very quickly. I do a lot of work around inclusion and diversity as well, and you know, I believe in creating opportunities for everybody, whoever they are, whatever their race, colour, disability, sexuality. Everybody has the right to belong in society. So I do a lot of work around that, and you know, this particularly applies to this community who can often feel marginalised. We need everybody to be able to be their true, authentic self and be able to live their best possible life. And they sometimes sound like buzzwords, but they're real words. And for somebody who often feels like they don't always fit for whatever reason, I know what it feels like to feel excluded. So we need to do everything we can to make sure this community has the resources they need to feel included in society. Thank you very much.